And there's a farmer, Elias Carter. It's one of Alex's characters. He took some damage. He's a man of action. Also, Torrance Garrity, probably in the rear with the gear somewhere, doing his spy activities. And Kyle, I made up Oliver Prince for you, your backup character.
Okay, cool, man.
Yeah, he's all good to go.
I forgot I rolled him up, man.
Yeah, he's a professor, a young professor, Stanford. He's got some good skills, man. He knows Latin. It's always good. Apparently, he's somewhat of a botanist as well.
Good for identifying fungi.
Yeah, so we left off after the whole Woody House excursion, which ended kind of tragically.
Aiden, close that door, man.
So we're in Salk Harbor, Maine.
The seas look
Christopher
restive.
Edmonds Mansion. Yes. The name of this chapter that you guys find yourself in is called The Worm That Walks. Mysteriously enough.
That's the old man.
And then down here, we've got the guys currently doing the legwork. Let's see, where's Chang? Let's get Chang on here.
Chang Li.
Any good ideas on how we can bring old Chang in?
Well, I mean, I think he could definitely be, someone the Theron Mark Society might decide to, they know they probably have used him in Hong Kong and Shanghai for various things. They're like, oh, this is getting a little ugly. Maybe we should bring in Chang Li.
Man, our group's starting to look like an after-school special. We got one person of every race on the table here.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah. Dude, if you're fighting Cthulhu, you better have everybody.
Yeah, and I've got.
It has to be a global community.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
And then, of course, up here I've got Edgar Casey hiding behind the GM veil. I'll show him to you briefly. Oh, there he is.
What? Where is he?
Here he is. There's Edgar.
There he is.
Hiding in the sea. He's going to go back in the hiding. I did mention in Discord. Newsflash. Agents in Los Angeles recently made contact with Edgar Casey. He was traveling with Max Reed and Barry Pollard.
What?
Did not make contact.
Barry
You guys get this in a telegram from General Pershing's group.
Well,
also regarding Jacob Crowninshield, this is interesting. None of you guys would probably know this yet, but November, it's almost November, 1924, Rikers Island State Penitentiary, Andrew Trelane, the Dreamer, pays his first visit to Jacob Crowninshield.
Oh!
And then I was wondering what our investigators think of bringing their friends back from the dead. And
I think we have to try it at least once to find out.
Yes, overconfident wizards do it. Theron Mark Society certainly has done it. Edgar Casey, evidently.
Yeah.
Should we bring Alessio and or Dr. Corsa back from the dead? Are there unintended consequences? Will they come back whole? Is the Necronomicon the key to eternal life? Do we need fear death?
In a Pet Cemetery kind of way. Oh, and no matter what happens to Tom's character when he comes back, you have to say, Tom, you went insane and then you died.
Well, there's a high likelihood of that actually happening, so we'll see. He is first in line over here. See? There he is. There it is, number one. Bear took a slug in the old firefight with the Woody boys. He's got a 45 slug stuck in his shoulder.
I think we need to get the doctor.
Let me see. Is there anything else I want to go over before we get back to the action here? Let's look at the calendar briefly. The calendar of foreboding music. It says it's October 25th. October 20th, Blackwood, Corso, and Ruslandovich arrive in Kanich and find the third part of the relay disc in the caverns beneath the crag. That was only 5 days ago, gentlemen. That was like, you guys have only been back in the States for a day or two, maybe. October 24th, Salk Harbor, Maine, Christopher Edwards' mansion, death of Dr. Corso at the Woody House. October 25th, which actually is just a slight bit in the future, is when McBride and Grant arrive in Malta. And also when you guys encountered the Madmen cannibals and the Migo.
The Migo, man. Whoa.
We had a busy 5 days.
Yeah, for sure. Let me put this down here. Oh, death of Dr. Corso, icebox.
Let's see. That'll keep you out of there.
The tread icebox.
And now all we can eat is beef jerky. We can't look in mirrors.
You ain't getting my milk.
Oh, this is
Only
pretty cool.
salted meat.
Here's a little shot of Father McBride and Logan Grant hanging out in Malta, some out of the way place, in hiding, doing their fucking research. And I have a couple
like
of
the
really
crucifix on the couch.
Yeah. I imagine them studying Cthulhu and the Disc of Relay, the Island of Relay, and all this stuff that surrounds what the Silver Twilight is doing. And I think I also put this in Discord. Let me bring that back up real quick.
Maybe a resurrection spell. Maybe one of them are studying that. I don't know.
Well, you know that both versions of the Necronomicon contain the full spell. Only
we would
Dr.
definitely
Van,
be focusing on that.
yeah, only Dr. Van Helsing knows the second part of the spell. Nobody really knows the. So they're going to be skimming. Let me look at something here. I think Father McBride has actually already skimmed the Necronomicon, so he would be the guy to probably try it. Ironically, to try to learn resurrection. So just going forward in time here a little bit as they begin their research, they possess 2 parts of the disc, 3 technically. And after studying it physically and using the information given to you guys by the Theron Mark Society, which is kind of what I wanted to bring up here.
We have the final piece of this thing. We do, right?
Yeah, you guys took it out of the cave in Kanich. The
Right.
group in Maine has it with them. I'm assuming that's what's going on.
Okay.
Before we get too far down the road here,
I thought we
can
might have sent it to
make some
Malta.
like luck rolls and things like that.
Yeah, we're getting to that, actually, Kyle. That's part of what I wanted to do here with these
Okay.
handouts. Let me see if I still have them here. First of all, Cthulhu in the Necronomicon, Logan Grant. Open up his character sheet, Kyle. He's on the list over there.
I've got him.
He has skimmed Cthulhu in the Necronomicon. Here's a quote from Dr. Shrewsbury, the guy who wrote it. He writes in the book that the Arab's book is generally a mishmash of hashish-influenced visions of the romantic ravings of a poet.
Wonderful.
But a careful and above all selective study on the elements reveals much to the scientific and modern mind. Logan, by skimming it, you get a check in both anthropology and occult. So check anthropology and occult.
Okay, anthropology. Ooh, yeah, I failed it.
Well, no. Okay, yeah, you can roll for it. Because roll for any skill checks that he has. Or he might even have other skills checked.
Anthropology, we'll go up 2. We'll take that.
Also, a little information on Cultus Desgulis and Revelations of Glocky are posted in Discord. Just some general information on those. You guys haven't even really skimmed those yet. But most importantly, the Theron Mark Society found pages in the Sussex manuscript, which is a handwritten copy in English of parts of the Necronomicon. And they believe that some of these pages contain related glyphs, the language used, they believe, on the disc, and perhaps the Ark of Lactos as well.
Ooh.
The glyphs appear in some kind of astronomical chart.
Was there was like an astronomical chart we were looking at in out in Colorado, right?
I think you guys were trying to determine if Aldebaran was above the horizon. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I think there was like some handout you gave us, and getting things confused.
Let me look here.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. I thought we sent that third part of the disc off to Malta. Didn't we kick that out? But
I know you met with the doctor, Dr. McParlin in Canich, and you had him write down everything. You wrote it sealed in an envelope or something like that.
Yeah, but then we collected it, and I'm just wondering if
I believe you took it with you to the States.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah.
Should have given it to the Theron Marks people to truck off to Malta.
They never really asked for it. They seem to trust you with it. They don't want to be overbearing or anything.
Yeah, I just like to, those guys, Malcolm and Logan, if they had it all there, they'd have a better idea of what's going on.
Well, I mean, I think that Father McBride did.
I guess we could put it.
Turn over all the rubbings.
I guess we could put it in Corso's coffin.
Buried Corso.
Corso's body's got to go back to Malta. Right? That's where he's being sent.
Smuggle it inside of his body cavity.
Yeah, big 100-pound chunk of gold, all distended, raw.
Yeah, the porters are all like, "What the hell? This guy must be huge."
Yeah,
he must have been enormous.
So Logan, Grant, and
Yes.
Father McBride, both give me idea rolls. It's intelligence.
Nice roll. Awesome roll.
I'm not really sure we wanted to make those.
Hard success, eh?
Yep. I totally understand everything that I read.
So the first thing you guys really focus in on is the disc in Cthulhu and Relay, right? So you're looking for this kind of stuff in Cthulhu and the Necronomicon and the Necronomicon itself. And what you find is rather shocking. Just over the course of a few days, both of you realize it's probably the most dangerous item in the world, as its proper use can apparently end life as we know it. So let that sink in for a second. But both of you are believers at this point, I believe, right? I hope.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know Father
McBride.
Bridge. Yeah, he became a believer pretty quickly. He didn't want to believe at first. a sec. So, note it says, you know, its proper use could end the world. And the Theron Mark Society knows some of this too. So, in information gleaned from your studies and also the Theron Mark Society, you also realize that the item is essentially useless unless the 3 pieces are restored to their original positions, getting a full account of everything that's written on the disc, right? Each piece weighs about 100 pounds, solid gold. When fit together, the disc is about 2 inches thick and about 2 feet in diameter. It's an intricate lattice work of a central figure, which you guys will figure out is actually the great Cthulhu himself, in swirls and curves carved with runes and set with tiny gems that glow even in daylight. And you may not have realized this until you got to Malta, but studying the patterns and the gems on the disc itself makes you feel like you're falling into the disc after looking at it too long. So it's actually detrimental to study the disc physically. But thankfully, you've taken rubbings, which is sufficient for academic study. But it has a strange effect on you if you observe it in person. The disc is not believed to have any magical powers in and of itself. It's just the information that's on it is deadly to humanity. It's believed that the runes that cover the disc are relay glyphs, a language virtually unknown today, as well as some Aklo writing. Aklo is the language of the ancient serpent people. So here's what we believe, or what you believe, that the disc essentially indicates the position of the lost city of Relay and gives instructions on how to raise the city, thereby releasing mighty Cthulhu, even before the stars come right. But, and this is key, you realize that the disc alone cannot restore the city. It requires other magical ceremonies, and the disc and the writings of the disc also hint at 2 other unnamed artifacts that must be used to accomplish the feat.
2 other unnamed artifacts?
So one would be the Ark of Lactose. The other one we don't know.
Bingo. Yeah. Now, right. This is not all known. This is all not real science or anything here. This is just what you think and what you know. Maybe there is another piece of the puzzle. Maybe there's not. But it's quite clear that the disc is the key. Because if those dedicated to the cause, if they were ever to obtain the 3 pieces of the disc, as well as the remaining pieces of the puzzle, it will all fall into place very quickly. And of course, importantly, the Theron Mark Society discovered that the disc can also be used to sink the corpse city once it is raised, even if the stars are right. It requires the same items and much of the same rituals needed to raise it.
That's good to know. There's a counter spell.
Opening and closing.
So, and also according to the Theron Mark Society, so to kind of sum up, they think that the writings on the disc in Aklo and relay glyphs, as well as any writings that may be on the Ark of Lactose, are the sort of the key that will give knowledge of the spell or ritual or incantation or whatever it is that allows the rising of the island and the sinking of the island both. Kind of the same effect as resurrection, because you can use it to raise someone up or to send them back. You know, there are reverse versions of some of this magic.
Interesting.
McBride gets skill checks from having skimmed the Necronomicon. He gets anthropology, archaeology. Let's see, anthropology, archaeology, history, and occult.
Oh, did I get a history one too, or?
No, for Cthulhu and the Necronomicon, it's just anthropology, anthropology and occult. Yeah.
Okay.
Difference being, I think that skimming Cthulhu and the Necronomicon cost you 1d sanity, I think, and skimming the Necronomicon cost him 1d20. So
it's a much harsher road.
Yeah, Van Helsing rolls a fucking 20. Oh. Now that was a moment.
Playing chicken.
Right.
With the Necronomicon.
So that's what we've learned about the disc and about the arc.
All right, man. Well, let's
just another blurb before we roll for luck or skill checks or whatever. And Lee, I've looked over your character sheet. I think we're good to go on him. We'll just have to bring him into the story.
Chang Li will travel if the pay is good, and he knows he'll be able to fight.
Oh, so he's like a mercenary.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely a competitive kung fu boxer and fighter in Shanghai and Hong Kong. But he works for the triads, and he'll work for.
Is he a believer?
Oh yeah, man, he's incredibly superstitious. He's deep into Chinese Taoism, but he also believes in all the ghost stories and occult and all that, all the demons and So he's a believer.
Just very quickly, Kyle, here's something that's taken from Cthulhu and the Necronomicon, written by Shrewsbury. It says, of all the gods and spirits of abomination, there can be no use or gain to call upon Azagthoth. He is surely mad. Rendered sightless in the battle, he is the lord of chaos, and the priest can find little use for him. He is also too powerful to control once called, and gives violent struggle before sent back to the gate, for which only a strong and able magician may dare raise him. This is where it gets interesting, because it's mentioning Cthulhu. Thus, for that reason, his seal is not given. Of all the gods and spirits of abomination, Cthulhu, K-U, it's spelled here, taken from the Necronomicon, of course, K-U-T-U-L-U, only cannot be summoned, for he is the sleeping lord. The magician cannot hope to have any power over him, but he may be worshipped, and for him the proper sacrifices may be made, so that he will spare thee when he rises to the earth. And the times for the sacrifice are the same times as the sleeping of Azathoth. For this is when great Cthulhu moves, and he is the very fire of the earth and the power of all magic. The man may cry out, what have I done, and my generation, that such evil shall befall me? And it mean nothing, save that a man being born is of sadness, for he is of the blood of the ancient ones, but has the spirit of the elder gods breathed into him. And his body goes to the ancient ones, but his mind is turned towards the elder gods. And this is the war which shall be always fought unto the last generation of man, for the world is unnatural. When the great Cthulhu rises up and greets the stars, then the war will be over and the world be won. Such is the covenant of the abominations.
Wow, I've got two things to say. Item 1, that was awesome. Item 2, please tell me you're recording tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beware of the cults of death. And these are the cult of the dog, the cult of the dragon, and the cult of the goat. For they are worshippers of the ancient ones, and forever try to let them in, for they have a formula of which it is unlawful to speak. And these cults are not strong, save at their seasons. when the heavens open up to them and unto their race. And there shall forever be war between us and the race of Draconis, for the race of Draconis was ever powerful in ancient times, when the first temples were built in Cthulhu. You think they're probably referring to the serpent people when they say race of Draconis, of course. The temples were built in Cthulhu, and they drew down much strength from the stars. But now they are as wanderers in the wastelands, and dwell in caves and in deserts, and in all lonely places where they have set up stones. All lonely places where they have set up stones. And these I have seen in my journeys through those areas where the ancient cults once flourished, and where now there is only sadness and desolation. And I have seen them in their rites, and the awful things they call forth from the lands beyond time. I have seen the signs carved upon their stones and their altars. I have seen the sign of Hastur. He actually doesn't write Hastur, he writes it Zaster with an X. Interestingly. Because you're not supposed to be able to say Hastur, right?
Right.
Zaster. I have seen the sign of Zaster, and those of Cthulhu and Agzagthoth, and similarly those of Shub-Niggurath, and the awful offspring of the goat, and the terrible musics of their race. So just some interesting blurbs from your readings.
He's seen a little too much.
Yeah. So going forward, are there any particular books, spells, or anything like that that you guys want to study in Malta?
The resurrection spell for sure.
Yeah, here's the index here. All right. So McBride would be the one to begin studying that then.
Do you know that you guys? We know the blessed blade, right?
Van Helsing does.
Let's see. What do I know? I know Blessed Blade.
Okay, good.
Logan Grant does.
Yep. And I've learned Summon Airy Traveler.
So if you were going to choose, since he's doing resurrection, I guess you could learn resurrection as well. But
No, it doesn't sound like I could.
oh, that's right. What spells do you have access to learn?
So I know Airy Travelers and I know Blessed Blade.
You could learn resurrection, Kyle.
Okay. No, that's awesome. I'd love to learn that.
Roll 2d6.
We are the Knights of the Resurrection, so nice.
What'd you get?
3.
A 3.
Okay. Both of you guys can probably learn that in less than a week.
Oh, awesome.
So that's where we'll end off with Malta. Those guys working on resurrection and getting their shit together as far as the disc goes, the information on that. And then, of course, when you guys learn resurrection, it might be time to
go down to Alessio's crypt.
Get out on Alessio. That would be an interesting little thing to role play with Father McBride. I could make some. We could push the horror on that one.
We mix his ashes with some excellent red sauce.
All right, so back to the worm that walks. So when you guys are leaving the Woody house, I think there were 6 of you, with Corso's dead body in tow. Again, Bear, you're shot pretty badly in the shoulder. You've gotten first aid, but what would be the plan?
Is there a doctor in the house?
There's a dead one.
There's a dead one.
If Corso was live, he'd yank that slug out of your shoulder, but unfortunately, he's blown in half.
Yeah, there is a medical bag there with all of his tools and tools of the trade.
Some morphine in there might help you.
Sarah can take it.
Yeah, I don't think I want to take any morphine.
He's been shot before.
So just for the record, if I get shot and there's morphine around, you load me up.
No problem. Let's see. Well, if I was gut shot or something, that might be different. But
well, and remember, it's
now we get the stipulations.
You guys are out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, dude, we're gonna have to go fight some shit right away. So I don't want to be.
You got to go down the fucking mountain, basically down, get back to the mansion, Edwin's mansion, and it's a small town. There's not even a hospital here. You don't even know if there's a doctor in this town.
Is there a veterinarian?
Maybe.
Surely there's a doctor.
There's got to be there's always a doctor.
Some crazy old sawbones.
Yeah, Christopher Edwin probably has his own private doctor. You know, you would think.
Yeah, worm doctor.
Yeah. He is ill.
Right, so as we pass through town, on our way back, we look for a shingle that says doctor.
So you're going back into town? You're not going back to the mansion?
No.
Okay.
I think we should try to find a doctor in town first. Well, I guess I'm not even there, so what do I know?
Right, yeah, we'll get you in here.
Chang Lee is having thoughts of whatever.
Yeah, I think old Bear is leading the party at this point.
Yeah, so we're going to go back through town and see if there's a doctor shingle, because Bear's 100% committed to not bleeding out in that small main town.
Yeah, there's nothing apparent, dude. Doesn't appear to be a doctor's office in this town.
I mean, I just don't think that going through the medical bag's a good idea. All right, well, so who's with me still? We have a pretty good collection of people with us.
Yeah, man. It's going on.
We've got
Mr. Blackwood, William Blackwood, Esquire. We've got Professor Underbook, the amazing Professor Underbook. Mr. Carter, Farmer. I think that's it.
That's a pretty big group, man. You're all heavily
all right,
armed.
well, what we'll do is there a place to message the Theron Mark Society from here?
Yeah, you'd go to the post office. They usually have, there's a telegraph there. You can send a telegraph out of the post office.
Okay, yeah, well, Bear's gonna stop by there and just give them a brief on what we encountered.
All right, what are you saying?
Code.
Yeah, definitely coded up. Let's see, what's this guy's name? Christopher Edwin.
Yes.
So I'll put Edwin correct about darkness in Maine. Let's see, what else will he say?
Corso dead.
What's that? One down in team. All else good. 3 nasties and just an X after that.
Okay.
3 nasties and 2 bugs X.
Okay. William Blackwood, because I remember Tom saying this last session. He wants to go back and find out what Christopher Edwin thinks of all this.
Oh, we're gonna go back there. Don't worry. We're headed there next. I just, if we get chopped up into small bits by the butler and the maid, I just wanted there to be, and that's the last thing I put on the message. Like heading back to Edwin's. We'll keep you informed.
Okay. All right.
So at least if anything happens back there, they've got a.
Yeah. So you're telegraphing Devlin in Boston is what you're doing, and he'll relay that. All right. So back to the manse.
All right, we head back to Christopher Edwin's wondrous home.
Okay. So you guys get to the mansion. And again, the front door, as you get up to the front door, you bang at it a couple times and it opens up by itself. And Edwin is there, rolls himself up in the wheelchair. He looks quite perturbed as you guys come in.
Oh, really?
Yes, he looks shocked. He says, "What has happened?
Eh?
What has happened? Dr. Corso, oh no! Is he dead?"
He walks with the spirits now.
And just then Molly Brown, his maid, walks in and she screams, "Ah!" and faints and falls down the ground. It's like, "Oh, Mrs. Brown."
Bear will go over and slap her in the face a couple of times, like, "Wake up."
He looks down. He looks down. I'm sure you have Corso like wrapped up in some canvas or something like that. He says, "What happened to him?" "Oh my goodness, young man, you've been shot." Looking at Bear.
Part of the job. Anyways, the house. Yeah, but is there a doctor that could look at my wounds?
He says, oh yes, of course. He says, he looks down at Molly Brown on the floor. Just the telephone. There's a telephone in the study.
Can I get her up?
Bear, actually, you would remember before he said he didn't have a telephone, but there's a telephone in the study. No, she's out cold. She's fainted.
I'm sure Bear knows how to use a phone. He's an Indian.
Yeah, Blackwood goes walking off into the study.
All right. So I'll tell, I'll say, okay, so, here's what happened, and give him the tale of everything that's happened. We arrived there.
And it's full horror.
Oh, yeah. We were set upon by these villainous cannibals.
Cannibals?
The house is full of human
real cannibals?
remains. Yes. Lamps made of human skin. Goodness. Rooms full of bones. Treachery everywhere.
Good God, man. It's nothing like what I expected. What possible contrivance could have led to this dastardly act?
It's everything that you thought it would be. They're involved with the Order of the Silver Twilight, obviously. These are the kinds of things these people do, Mr. Edwin.
Says, perhaps Stanford knew of my involvement. There's no other way something like this could have happened.
Oh, and there's more.
He says, you all are hunted. You are marked. You guys are sitting around in his study here.
My God, man.
Cool picture.
That is a cool picture.
I want that study.
He says, yes, Mr. Blackfoot, it's 6194, Dr. Irving. Get in here immediately. And he tells you guys to help yourself to the bar, and he said that Mrs. Brown, once she's up and around, she was making a meal. If you'd like to have supper. So he listens to your story. So you're going to tell him every little detail about the Woody house?
Oh, yeah.
The ambush? Yeah.
Yeah, the ambush, the hairy man popping out of the bones, the insect bugs, and the final tragic end to Dr. Corso with the shotgun blasted too.
Oh, a shotgun. It must have been horrific.
Oh, it was.
And you tell him about the things?
The the Migo?
Bug
yeah.
Thing?
Oh, yeah.
Migo? You don't say. Fascinating.
What did you, I think you were expecting ghosts of some kind. There was no such thing there.
Do you have psychology or intimidate or anything like that, Kyle?
He says, yes, I fully expected some kind of haunt. For what I saw with the spirits talking verbally. They were speaking.
I think I've got a psychology of 10. Yeah.
Does anybody else that's there in the party have any kind of psychology skill, Sean?
Yeah. What are we shooting for here?
Just to see if this guy's if he's hiding something or he's being disingenuous in some way.
When we walked in, he was perturbed. Was he perturbed because we survived?
No. He was. He looked worrisome.
5.
Okay. No, he looked legitimately worried. So Blackwood says, Mr. Edwin, how can we be confident in your story? I mean, what we witnessed out at the Woody house was nothing like you told us to expect. How should we believe that you're not a part of them? He says. And Edwin's like kind of taken aback. He says, well, good sir, surely. I've shared with you all I know of the Silver Twilight.
Something don't smell right in Denmark.
Why would you think that I have something to do with it? As I said, Carl Stanford or someone else must have known of my involvement and have tracked your movements somehow.
And how did Carl Stanford know of you? You son of a bitch.
I don't know.
I think you're giving each other hand jobs in the middle of the night, a pentagram.
and Chang isn't here yet.
Gross, dude.
Chang isn't here yet. But at that moment, Kyle, Bear, you're sitting there, you're waiting for the doctor. Your shoulder hurts, so you're like kind of sipping on some brandy or something. You know, he offers you guys some drinks, trying to kill the pain or whatever. And all of a sudden, the room starts spinning, Bear. And you feel this aching pain in the back of your head.
Okay. I'm like...
And you vomit. And you see Blackwood stand up. You know, he's got his brandy. He says, Bear, are you okay? What's the matter?
Don't drink any more of the brandy.
And then
he's one of them.
And then you see Edwin. He says, "Good God, man," and he pukes too. Blah. He says, "Oh," and he kind of half falls out of his wheelchair. And then Crowninshield drops his brandy glass. It shatters on the floor. And you see him holding his stomach and begin to retch, as well as the professor and the farmer. I need everybody to make a constitution check. So let's just go right down the line, shall we? Bear.
I make it.
I need a hard success.
I just got a regular success.
William Blackwood.
Can he burn some luck on that to make it a hard success?
No. Blackwood fails his. Archibald Underbook. Hey. The amazing Professor Underbook makes
Professor Shotgun is always there, man. He smiles and throws a round into the gun.
How many hit points do you have, Bear?
5.
All right, hang on here. All right, Bear, give me another Constitution roll.
I do not make it.
All right, Bear, you go unconscious. Farmer goes unconscious. Blackwood's up. So at this point, what happens is Bear, the last thing you remember is this intense pain in your head and the room spinning and just grayness and then blackness as you fall on the floor unconscious. And you wake up in a hospital bed. And your vision's blurry. You really can't see very well. It's kind of dark in the room. There's one single lamp over in the corner next to a mirror. And so, Lee, this is when we bring Chang in, okay? So when Chang arrives in Salk Harbor, he finds out that the entire group, including Mr. Christopher Edwin, have been poisoned. And all of them, except for Professor Underbook, are in private care by Dr. Irving here at the mansion. So when you arrive at the mansion, they've got these hospital rooms set up upstairs, like 3 of them, with I think 3 of the group in really, really bad shape from, I think it's called tolamine poisoning.
Jesus.
Tolamine.
Oh, dude.
Ptomaine. Severe intestinal distress, cramps, vomiting.
Bad shit.
So Bear, you're effectively at 0 hit points. Okay, well, 1. So put Bear at 1 hit point.
Okay.
Okay, so.
And Chang, so when you arrive there.
Yeah. Chang's pissed.
Yeah, when you. Let's see.
Where's the maid?
You meet with Underbook because he was the only one that pulled through it not being poisoned. And Underbook fills you in on what's happened as far as the Woody House, the meeting of Christopher Edwin, the statement of Christopher Edwin's little ghost story and all this shit. And how all of you, even Edwin is also on the verge of death from being poisoned, apparently, according to Dr. Irving.
Okay, I asked, does Underbook have a weapon on him? Does he have a weapon?
Yeah, he says we've stored the weapons down in the red library. He's got 3 libraries.
You might want to just go ahead and arm yourself. This is great. Chang's like...
Says, well, I've got my sidearm.
Sidearm, okay.
Says we've determined that it's ptomaine poisoning. I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, where's the maid? Chang is like, where is the maid?
I believe she's tending to the kitchen right now. Chang.
Let's go talk to her right now. Yeah.
She's been quite upset. He follows you downstairs to the kitchen.
So, what's her name?
Molly Brown. Mrs. Brown. Miss Brown. It's like, Miss Brown, can we have a word with you? Says Dr. Underbook. He says, well, yes, of course.
So Chang is like, how did Brandy get poisoned?
She says, I have no idea, sir.
Who's been in the house?
I don't know how anything like that could have happened.
Who's
just your group and Mr. Edwin. If you think I had anything,
no. Chang is like, no.
You give me a psychology roll if you want. I'll roll for. Oh, by the way, Professor Archibald, if you call him Professor or Professor Underbook, he insists. He says, "Just call me Archibald." Okay. Let's see. He's got a pretty good psychology here. You can give me a psychology roll for Chang too if you want. Both of you guys. She looks like she gets upset. She feels like you guys are accusing her of something, and she kind of breaks down. She's like, oh, "If I knew anything, I'd tell you." She breaks down in your arms. You know, she's like Jello, and you're like, "Oh God."
So she's being sincere, basically.
She's a really, really good actor.
Okay. So I say, did you notice anything unusual, no matter how inconsequential you might think it to be?
Just the tentacle that snaked through the window.
Anything.
She says, the day you were gone, I was trying to catch a mouse in the cellar, and I couldn't catch him, and I broke the broom, and and you see something on the stove starts burning. There's like smoke coming off. And she's like, "Oh goodness, no!" And she starts trying to throws a fucking towel over and puts a fire out.
Okay, so let's have you taken a look around the perimeter here, Professor?
Says, yes, it seems to be a secure location. We're a good 2 miles out of town. It's the 400-acre estate. I've scoured it. He has a stable and went out riding.
Look outside to see if there's any sign of any kind of intrusion through a window or door or anything like that. No sign of forced entry.
No, nothing like that, Chang. And he takes you over the window. He says, "Look out there. You see the boathouse." He says, "It's quite a nice vessel out there in the harbor. It's called the Marigold. You should go take a look if you get a chance." Nice vessel, yes.
Okay, so what's the deal with the boat? Who owns that?
I assume that it's Mr. Edwin's.
Really? Has anybody been out on it?
Oh, actually, it's called the Fair Lady.
Lady.
I went aboard this morning and just gave her a once over.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
It's called the Fair Lady.
Yes.
Maybe we should rifle through this guy's stuff. Where's his desk?
Says, well, I've made some progress in that, but the place is vast. There's not much of interest in the libraries. I assume that if he has anything special, he has it hidden. Where, I don't know.
Bear coughs in the background.
but quite a good collection of occult books and rare volumes.
Like Chang's like, it just doesn't make sense, you guys get here, the story he tells you isn't, anywhere near. There's something wrong.
Yeah, should have known. Yeah, we should have known better. We should have expected a shitstorm when we got here. He says, out of all the boys, I think Bear's got got it the worst. He took a slug out at the Woody house, and I think he got the worst dose of ptomine.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for Dr. Irving. That's all I can say. But he says, as far as Mr. Edwin, I think is on the up and up.
So
why would he poison himself, for one thing?
Yeah, true. And I guess there's always the silver twilight. Could have some kind of agent, I suppose, that could have snuck in and contaminated. But
wasn't there more than one servant?
What about this? What about this
No.
poison? What about this poison? What's where does it come from? What's the source? What's the origin on that? Do you know, Professor? Maybe we can figure something out by the nature of the poison itself.
He says,
is it easy to possess? Is it hard to make?
It's fairly common, actually. It's a form of food poisoning. It says it comes from compounds and animal fats and things like that that putrefy. And
I gotcha. So it's like a culture.
Yeah, it's like some form, like a botulism, sort of.
It's like bacteria culture. I gotcha.
So not life-threatening, but quite unpleasant. So I should note too, Kyle. I should note too, Kyle, that I'm sorry. How many hit points did you have before you went to 1? It was
5.
5. Okay. These other guys, you don't have a major wound, but both Farmer and William Blackwood have a major wound now from this poison.
Wow.
Blackwood's at 2 HP. Elias's at 5 HP. So they're going to be basically need to be hospitalized for a little while. And you too, Bear. I mean, you are 1 hit point, so let me do a couple of rolls for that. Make his medicine roll. You'll get back another D3, which he doesn't. He has 65. So you're going to be stuck with 1 hit point.
Can I roll for his other rolls that he had checked from last time?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Lee, Underbook tells you that he's been called back to Scotland. He'll be leaving within the next day or two. He's going to be going back to Boston. And he's taking Elias with him. Farmer. One? Yeah.
I know. Ooh.
Who was it that Bear was associated with when he came into the game? Was it Alessio? Or no, it
was Corso.
It was Dr. Corso, yeah.
And maybe Alessio by association there.
Yeah.
Ooh. 10. Gotta love that.
Did you roll your luck too, Kyle?
I did, yeah. That was the first thing I rolled.
Okay.
You got a couple of points there. I think I actually got... yeah, I got 7 points to my luck. Yay.
Okay. So, Lee, I don't know if you heard me, but Underbook says that he's going back to Boston. He's been called back to Scotland for the time being. He's going to be taking Farmer with him, Mr. Carter. And looks like Mr. Blackwood and old Bear are going to need a little bit of time to
convalesce.
Yeah, William Blackwood, he's in pretty bad shape. Bear's even in worse shape. It's painful, Bear. It's like you can't even move. You try to get up out of bed, and it's just you get stomach cramps, muscle cramps, nausea. You're constantly throwing up. You can't keep anything down. Dehydrated. Doctor's trying to take the best care of you he can.
What's up with Edwin?
He's very ill too.
He's very ill. So
yeah, he's in a hospital bed.
So I'll definitely basically patrol the house. You know?
Yeah, Chang's kind of in charge at this point. Everybody else is fucking dead almost.
Yeah, man. And I go ahead and I have my pump 12 gauge out, fully loaded, man, on a sling on my back, man.
Okay.
Hatchet, I'm ready to go. And as I'm going through, as I'm patrolling, I'll definitely I'll definitely pause every once in a while and spot hidden and look around and see if I can't find anything unusual. I mean, I'm taking my time. I'm used, every couple. I'll sit by their bedsides. I'll be there, and then maybe every hour or so, I'll get up and patrol the house.
Give me a luck roll for Chang. All right.
Success.
So, your first night, you're checking in on your buddies, in their hospital rooms, and you spend some time in the study here. And there's books all around you, so you're checking out some of these books and stuff. And you find in a wooden case, low on one of the shelves, inside what looks like just an ancient, antique King James Bible. It's got gold filigree on it. It's got gold and silver bindings and shit on it. And you're looking at it, and this thing looks fucking priceless. I mean, you don't know too much about these kind of things, but this thing must be worth a fortune. It looks, old, very, very old.
It's a fortune, huh?
Probably, yeah, small fortune.
Chang pockets it.
Chang Lee's thinking about it, but first he's examining it.
Bear, that night. Let me set the scene for you here.
I'll take it back up to the room, so I can sit there and examine it. I'll grab it.
It's quite lovely. It's thick, it's really thick and heavy, and got gold leaf pages and shit.
Yeah, I'll take it back to the hospital room.
All right, so Bear, this is your little hospital room here, okay? And that first night, you wake up, and you're awakened by a cold, clammy hand being placed on your forehead. And you wake up, you open your eyes, and you see Chang standing over your bed. You know who he is, and he's got his hand on your forehead. And you just kind of you feel the pain start coming back now that you're awake, and your eyes just kind of close. And you wake up the next morning.
Okay.
So while
I called for Chang.
While I'm sitting there though during the night, I'll break out the coffee and I'll go through this Bible, see if there's anything interesting in it.
Looks like a pretty standard King James Bible, but very old, probably a couple 100 years old. Some sort of Middle English looking. It's It's kind of strange, actually. Now that you're looking at it, I mean, like I said, you don't know too much about these things. At least I don't think you do. Give me a history roll. See if you can glean anything about this Bible here. Yeah, and English isn't your first language either, right? So
No,
a lot of it's hard for you to read, actually, because there's a lot of it's this fancy lettering and shit. But you guess it's worth thousands of dollars, probably, to a collector. It also makes you kind of wonder what else he has kind of stashed around this place, because I just want to stress this place is like lavish,
Yeah, well, I'll keep that there. I'll keep it in the room, and I'll.
All right, give me another luck roll for Chang.
Nope.
All right. On the second day, you decide to go out. Professor Underbook and Farmer leave that day for Boston.
Okay.
And you decide to go out to the boathouse to look at the fair lady, like you suggested. And sure enough, there's this large boat out there. Looks like it sleeps about 6. It's got flat decks, railing all around, coal-fed, single fat.
Really?
Yeah. It's like a steamer kind of cruiser.
So I'll go through it, man. If there's no one around, I'll search it real good.
Yeah, kind of within the cabin is pretty awesome. There's a fine view outside the cabin inside there. It's also looks like she's fully fueled up too. Looks almost brand new, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah, looks like it hasn't been used much, but well maintained.
Nothing unusual in the cabin?
It's about a 30 foot boat, 40 foot boat. No, nothing unusual in there. Standard shit. First aid kit, flare guns, extra fuels.
Caviar,
Yes.
fine champagne,
Biscuits.
chilled.
Okay.
Yeah, stocked with wine.
Okay, well,
Kyle.
I don't see anything unusual. I'll head back to the house.
So, Kyle, you spend the next day kind of in a daze. The doctor has you kind of on these meds. And the second night, you wake up to a cold and clammy hand being placed on your forehead. And you open your eyes, and it's Chang standing there again, the smile on his face.
I wake up and I call for Chang.
Do I hear someone call for me?
You hear someone call your name from upstairs, Chang.
I run with the shotgun. Raw! Chang jumps.
Okay, so Chang, you go running up the stairs.
He's bounding Kung Fu style up the stairs.
And Bear, you see Chang kind of turn his head towards the doorway up here. He takes his hand off of your forehead and begins moving over towards the doorway. And you kind of sit up. You have to kind of sit up in bed to see what he's doing. Again, there's just one single lamp in this room. Chang, you come bursting into Bear's room, and you see yourself standing in front of you. Bear, you see two Chang standing by the doorway.
I let loose with the shotgun, man.
At that very moment, the image fades away almost instantaneously. It's not there anymore. Boom! And you blow away the wheelchair right in front of you. goes flying up against the back wall in pieces. But the image is gone.
Chang says bad magic.
Chang, no leave, bear again.
Both of you guys give me a sanity check.
Bad Chang come. I don't make it.
I made it. Chang's always wanted to fight himself. He's pissed it didn't happen.
Right. So both of you guys are kind of like, what the fuck was that? You have to verify with each other. Like, you saw that, right? Yeah, I saw it too. Yeah,
Which?
That was me. No, that was you. Yeah, me. That's what I meant. Me.
Which?
I tell Chang, I was like, second night, bad Chang here.
Dr. Irving comes bursting in the room. He's like, what the hell's going on here? What? He looks and sees the wheelchair, you know, the fucking buckshot on the fucking wall over there. Like, what the hell? Gentlemen, what's going on? Mr. Riflander, are you okay?
Everything's fine.
We are not alone in this house.
Eh? You say?
There are bad spirits in the house. Bear want to be moved out.
He comes over and checks your vital signs. I think you'll be just fine here, Bear.
Bear not staying here another night.
And he looks at you, Chang. He's like, what, Mr. Lee, is he dreaming or what happened here?
Doctor, you asked me to stay here another night. Bear tell you go hell.
This is
White
when
man hell.
Chang is like, just relax, Doctor. Let me talk to Bear for a minute. Everything will be fine.
We know stay here another night, Chang.
Wow, so you guys like, yeah, go ahead. Chang's like what?
Chang says, I'm afraid if we leave, it will just follow. Why don't I sit here with you? And here, do you have a weapon? I'll give you your weapon. You're conscious now. We'll wait for this son of a bitch. Or if you have any, I don't know if you have any, witchery. Do you have any of your own witchery? I don't know. I don't. I only have my fists, my hands. I mean, I'll attack whatever comes. I'll attack. We can attack it. But I'm afraid if we leave, it'll just wherever we go, it's going to follow us, right?
We need a phrase or something so we can tell you from Bad Chang.
Okay. Let's see here.
Something somebody would never say.
Okay. I think we got that. Hold on a second.
As you guys are discussing this in Bear's room, over in Mr. Blackwood's room, he wakes up with a cold and clammy hand being placed on his forehead. And Blackwood opens his eyes and sees Chang standing over him, smiling.
Where is this going on right now? What's going on?
In William Blackwood's room, about 2 doors down. You guys don't know this, though. Until the screams start. We're going to take a little break now. Let's take a couple-minute break here. You guys begin hearing screams from William Blackwood's room. Sounds like Mr. Blackwood himself.
Oh, man.
I'll be right back.
All right. The terror, or maybe the horror. That's probably more accurate. The horror.
going down, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's going down again.
All right, this should be interesting. So you guys hear the scream. Bear, immediately your head snaps over to your elephant gun sitting up on the, up against the corner over there next to your bed. Chang strikes his kung fu pose for a moment. It's like, Blackwood!
Yep.
Can I get to my...
Yeah, Bear, you are mobile. You're just very ill, okay?
Chang grabs his shotgun and bolts to the room, man.
Yeah, you set your shotgun on the table. You snatch up your shotgun. You go out into the hallway, and you hear this crash. And you see the door, 2 doors down in the hallway, splinter into 1,000 pieces. And you see Dr. Irving's body come flying through the doorway and landing in the hall up against the wall. And then you hear Blackwood screaming again as you run down to the doorway. Bear, you're kind of limping along behind with your elephant gun pointed down the hallway like this, right? Like your arm was in a sling, so you had to unsling your arm where you were shot, so you're kind of grimacing in pain as you get to...
Good thing I didn't take that morphine.
You peer into the room, and it's pretty much a carbon copy here of this room, so we're just going to use this room, okay?
All right.
And you see Blackwood lying in his bed over here in the corner, and hovering over him is this humanoid putrefied horror composed of writhing masses of earthworms. It's in a humanoid shape. It has arms and legs, but it's composed entirely of these writhing earthworms, and it's about 8 feet tall. And
8 feet tall.
Yeah, and you see it has these fucking claws.
Jesus.
These sort of yellowish bone-looking claws. And it turns to face you as you enter the room.
Blast its earthworm head off its body. Chang is like, holy shit.
Barry, you're right behind here.
I'm going to stay, with using the door as a shield. I'm so almost dead.
All right, well, let me just reveal the outside area here. It's just a hallway out there.
I'm going to use that as strong cover, man.
We're going to use this.
Chang makes sure he's out of the...
to represent the horror, because it's the best I could do.
Chang makes sure he's out of the line of sight of Bear. If he's using the door as cover, Chang's aware he needs a clear shot with his gun, so he'll definitely kind of move over to a little closer to the wheelchair. So Bear's got a clear shot.
Bear's dex is 50. 100 with the gun, though, right?
Yep.
Chang's going to be at 125 with the ready shotgun.
Ooh.
The thing. All right. So Chang. That scale's about half. It's about 25 feet away from you.
So can I move like?
You can move up to it. Yeah.
How many squares can I move?
You can move all the way up to it if you wanted to.
I prefer to move over here and take a.
You just need to move up just a tad, yeah, to get within good range of that double barrel.
Yeah. So it's a pump.
It's a pump. Okay.
Yeah. It's a pump. It's a pump 12 gauge. It's not a double.
Well, if it's a pump, the range is good at the door. Then, if you don't want to move up. I was thinking you had a sawed off.
No, I don't have a sawed off. I have just it's a wonderful pump shotgun.
Oh, and also we have to add William here.
Yeah, I mean, if I can remain covered here, with Bear, I'll blast from there for sure, man.
Okay.
Unless I can do more damage moving up. If I can do more damage moving up, I'll move up.
Go for it. Roll to hit.
Is it set up on the sheet so I can actually roll where the shotgun is? Is that right? I believe so.
I believe so. You might have to roll your damage.
Ooh.
Kaboom!
Why is the damage
crap.
0?
That's a fucking
Kaboom!
crit.
Like I said, I shoot it in its earthworm head 8 feet tall.
It's because the damage for a shotgun varies with range. You know, it does more damage close up. So technically, the damage for that, Lee, would be holy shit. That's a crit with the shotgun. So it's going to be 2d6 for medium range. So you take the max of that, which is 12, plus 2d6. What's Bear going to?
Kaboom!
You hit it right in the head, Lee. No discernible effect. Dun dun dun. What's Bear doing?
Oh, I'm shooting, man.
All right. I'm going to give you a bonus die because such close range. So click the gray button for rifle. You're in the +1. One bonus dice. That's a success.
So
Damage. Low damage.
Okay,
That's one barrel, I assume.
Yeah, definitely. Because I
both
killed
barrels
myself if I shot 2.
Both barrels could kill you. Or not kill you.
He's bracing the barrel up against the frame of the door.
Yeah.
Boom!
Let's see. It's 8 plus 4, so 12 points of damage.
Again, to your horror, no discernible effect. You don't see like the slug enter its body.
Right.
We need fire here.
Fire, yeah.
All right, so this thing turns and it slithers, like rushes across the room, knocks this table and chairs out of the way. They're like, crash, crash. Oops, didn't want to move that.
It moves the whole room.
It moves the whole fucking room. Uh-oh. It's, like I said, it has these kind of yellow bone-looking claws coming out of it. The fucking hands. At you, Lee. So you can fight back, maneuver, or dodge. I should ask you that before I roll, but
okay, so fight back.
remember, fight back, you lose on ties. You need a higher level of success than what's attacking you.
Right.
With fight back. With dodge, you win on ties. So even if you got a regular success with dodge, you would dodge it.
How about if I try a martial arts maneuver?
Yeah. Yeah, its build is also +1, so no real advantage there, but you could attempt some kind of maneuver as it swings its claw at you. What did you have in mind?
Basically leg sweeping it. So it
like tripping
falls.
it?
Yeah, so it falls back. You know, it's like lunging with its claw. I do a kung fu leg sweep.
Okay.
You know?
All right, again, so you need to get a higher level of success with the maneuver, so you need a hard success with martial arts.
All right, so should I be rolling the gray or the green?
Just roll green, because there's no bonus dice or anything. You just need a hard success. No, he beat you.
Alrighty.
All right. He slashes you for 2. And again. What are you doing the second time? You can dodge, fight back, or maneuver.
I'll fight back if I can fight back with my martial arts skill. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that's not bad.
You need to beat his level of success, and he gets an extreme success. He rolls a 2.
Oh my god.
Boy.
That's a crit. Oh! Chang rolls an extreme success too.
Oh, what does that mean?
For fighting back, he loses on ties. Oh, that's terrible. So if the claw would have gotten a regular success, and you got the extreme, and you would do damage to it on its attack. Unfortunately, it got an extreme success on you, Lee. So it does a D6. So that's 6 damage max because it's a crit, and he rolls D6 above that. Uh-oh.
That's not good, man.
Is Chang gonna fucking die?
Yeah, he's gonna die, dude, for sure.
He's at 9. He's at 9?
Yeah, dude, he's 9. He already took 2. He already took 2, man.
And that's 11. Oh, yeah. Shit.
Yeah, man.
All right, so Bear.
Better roll up another character.
Bear, this thing, like, it slashes across Chang's body with its claw and knocks him up against the wall like this. And you see Chang trying to, like, do a maneuver on him. But the second one, the claws go right into his throat. And there's the spray of blood as Chang's screams become blood-choked gurgles right next to you. What are you doing? Blackwood gets up and runs over to the window, or hobbles over to the window.
Is he in the room or outside of the room?
Blackwood?
No, Chang.
Chang's in the room. He's kind of up against the wall here.
I slam the door shut and run back towards my room.
Okay, you do.
So what I'm trying to do is get my gear bag, with some acid or something, so I can, throw it on this guy,
Okay.
If he continues to follow me.
All right.
You have flares?
I need
yes.
Bear, first of all, I need you to make a sanity check. I forgot to do that, and you do one for Blackwood too. Sanity.
I make it.
Very good. Extreme.
Bear, take 3 points of sanity.
Oh man.
Blackwood takes 2. Blackwood, oh shit. He has the same thing in mind, dude. I don't think he's gonna want to fight this thing. What's his jump? He's gonna jump out the fucking window.
Dude, all his characters end up jumping out windows.
It's like deja vu. And he fails.
Oh, and that's deja vu too.
Breaks his fucking leg. Let's see. You won't take up that much. He's just jumping onto like the outside of the roof there. He's gonna take 2 damage. He had to. All right, so he jumps out of the window and goes unconscious. When he lands, lands and his knee comes up on his chin. He knocks himself out. He's lying on the roof outside the window. And needless to say, Bear, you get back to your room and you're rifling through your belongings.
The first thing I go for is the star symbol.
You have the star stone in your hand.
Okay, good. I place it in front of my door.
Okay, you do.
And then now I'm looking for acid and stuff like that.
Well, you stop and you listen. You don't hear anything.
I still look for acid or...
You steal a peek outside into the hallway, and you just see Dr. Irving's body lying in the hallway. He looks dead, too. Lying in the hallway outside of Blackwood's door there. But you hear no sound.
All right, did I locate what I was looking for?
Yes. Ching. Woodshed.
All right, I'm going to try to... So Blackwood's out, Chang's dead. Dr. Underbook is gone.
You saw Chang's throat get ripped out by this thing, basically, yeah.
All right, I'm going to try to... I mean, I'm almost dead myself. I've only got 1 hit point. I got to get the fuck out of here.
If any of the guys at the St. Mary's Church were here, they would be freaking out. Like, it's the toilet monster kind of a thing, but slightly different actually. But
right. So I'm trying to make I grab my gear bag and put the elephant gun away and grab my I don't worry about guns. I just have like my flares and my oil or my acid, whatever I can find.
Okay, and Barrett, at this point, while you're rummaging around in your shit in your room, you don't know that Blackwood has jumped out the window. You think at this point like Chang and Blackwood are probably dead, and it's coming for me now. Kind of what you're thinking. And there's nobody else in the house except for Christopher Edwin and perhaps Miss Brown.
Okay. Well, again, I'm set on getting the fuck out of here.
Okay.
It's time. Sometimes it's time to run. This is one of those times.
Right. So you're back in your room here. Let's pretend like this is your room. You're going through your shit over here, your bag over here by the destroyed wheelchair. You can see your windows are open, and the curtains are kind of fluttering in the breeze. And then you see a humanoid arm come through the window and latch onto the windowsill. And it's a mass of black writhing worms.
Okay, well, have I located my...
Do you have stuff in your pack? If you have acid in your pack and hold it back, you have it.
Yeah, right? I got it. So I pull it and I throw it right on it.
All right, well, give me a throw roll.
All right.
It's going to try to dodge. Make it hard on you.
I use 15 luck. Oh, can I do that?
Not in combat, bro.
All right.
Oh, he's got a dex 15. You failed anyway. But technically he dodges, which he's going to forego one of his attacks by doing that.
Flare him right in his...
So it bounces off the bed and like crashes up against the wall, and you're like, oh shit. Let's go back into the... What's your dexterity normally, Bear? 50? Uh-oh.
Dexterity is 50, yes.
This thing's got the jump on you. This fucking comes all right at you, dude.
Damn nether beast.
Oh, shit. It's going to get one claw attack on you, Kyle.
No!
So maybe now you can see where the chapter name comes from. The worm that walks. So you have a choice. You can dodge. You can fight back. You can do some heroic maneuver.
Whatever your best skill, whatever your best number is, man, use that. It's dodge.
I'm going to dodge.
Is that your best skill? Is it better?
Yes.
Better than fight back?
Okay. Roll dodge. It's got a fight claw, 50%.
Oh, yes. I make it.
Yeah, man. Nice.
Oh, he gets a regular success. You get a hard success. Waka! You dodge out of the way of this thing. That's going to make it your turn, Kyle.
Stick a flare right at worm anus.
Fighter flea kicks in. This thing is monstrous, dude. It's an 8-foot tall putrescent horror composed of writhing masses of earthworms.
Let's see here. Hold on.
I'm going to make it even bigger.
I don't think it can outrun this thing. That's the thing.
No? It's just like an instantaneous thought runs through Bear's mind, like, there's no way I can outrun it. Actually,
yeah, so... Can. Huh?
Actually, probably can. Your move rate is showing me as 8, which is better than average.
Then I'll run the fuck out of there and be like, fuck this.
Fortunately, its is also 8.
Throw a flare behind it just for the hell of it, man.
Yeah. Give me a dexterity check, please.
Alright. Yes.
Look at that. All right, Bear. So you grab your shit, leap out the door, and you kind of go to close the door behind you. And you're fucking booking it down the hallway as fast as you can. Your wound is reopened. You got blood pouring down the front of your fucking hospital smock or whatever it is you're wearing. You got your bag of shit and your fucking rifle in the other hand. You're looking behind you. You don't see it coming. And then you see the door open. Then you see the shadowy shape of this thing kind of lurking down the hall as you turn the corner and go down the stairs to the main level.
I keep booking, man.
You shoot out the front door and you're fucking running down the path into the fucking woods. And you run as far as you can.
Okay.
You don't see it coming after you. You have to stop after a little while because you can't breathe. And you're looking back into the dark forest. You don't see any signs of movement.
All right.
And then there was one. Ugh.
Well, Blackwood's still alive, though, right?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see about that. Yeah, he makes a hard luck roll. He's alive.
Oh my god!
Sometimes those luck rolls come into play.
Yeah, luck for life.
Well, like I said, Bear would probably assume at this point that Blackwood and Chang are both dead.
Damn, dude. Gotta always keep the flask of oil on you. This worm beast doesn't respond to anything else. We should have remembered that. I guess we didn't know what we were going to run into, though.
Yeah, it's
that happened to us last time. We fought, like when Logan and Alessio fought that thing.
But it's realistic because, I mean, well, Alessio just, anyways, with the fire, that was great. But these guys didn't know anything about that, really.
No, not really.
Yeah, so that's kind of realistic. You know what I mean? They really didn't know.
They probably wouldn't have because, I mean, because Logan Grant and Father McBride were well on their way to Malta before the current group even got to Canich. So there's kind of some separation there. So now there's going to be a meeting at some point talking like that worm thing. It's like, you saw the worm thing? So yeah.
Always have two backup characters rolled up. I guess
well, there's always resurrection. You know, like I said, it's
Yeah, well, send the body. Send Chang's body to Malta. There you go.
Man, the bodies are piling up there.
Send Chang's body to Malta.
Yeah, I mean, it hit you with the fucking crit, dude. Is what it did.
Well, I mean, there's one good thing. I mean, we are called the Knights of the Resurrection, so I mean, we might as well.
Right now we're still just the Knights of the Attempted Resurrection.
Well, we need to get on with that. We need to get on with that.
We haven't done one yet.
The dice are definitely telling the story tonight with that crit with the claw. That was bad. That was really bad. Oh,
what a fiend!
And then fucking Bear would be dead too, probably, if not for that hard dodge roll.
The hard dodge and the extreme runaway roll.
Yeah, the runaway roll. The chase roll.
He used to go to the desert and catch rattlesnakes by hand.
Oh, they called me crazy for doing that, but
the training worked. The training worked.
So, Bear, I guess there would be some options. At least a couple of options. I mean, you
go back to your tribe and forget all this ever happened.
I mean, just look at your condition here, your hit point bar. You got 48 sanity. That's good. You have 1 hit point. And Chang would technically have 0. Sorry, Lee.
He's less than 0, man. He was in the negatives.
Yeah, well, there are no negatives.
There are negatives in this game. There's just the Constitution.
But he was. There was extra death damage was dealt.
So then I have to make them red like that.
Like 3. It was like three into it.
And then Blackwood got lucky and survived. Oh, you know what? Shouldn't come down to a luck roll because he would come up to 1 hit point eventually.
What's his sanity?
So apparently the thing kind of ignored him or missed him or something. And he would wake up on the roof later that night. So Bear, there would be a couple of options. I mean, of course, you're in Salk Harbor, which is kind of out in the boonies. You're a good, day's travel away from Boston by rail or by car or what have you. There's also Christopher Edwin's boat as well. It's another mode of transportation. You guys traveled there by automobile, so there's a car at the mansion as well. But there's a train station not too far from Salk Harbor as well that you could get to.
Well, I guess when it gets to daylight, I'll go back to the mansion.
Okay.
And
see Chang's body.
Yep. Go collect Chang's body, and I guess I'll encounter Blackwood and be like, "Oh my God, I thought you were dead."
Yeah, I guess Blackwood would be there, sort of in a state of shock.
We got to get out of here, man.
He agrees. Let's get Chang and leave. You want to go by boat, by train, or by car?
Well, does anybody know how to drive the boat? I mean, I know I don't. I'm great with a kayak.
Yeah, not really, I don't think.
It's train or car.
I mean, anybody can try. There's not much to it.
If someone doesn't have a good automobile or drive skill, I'd say train it, man.
Blackwood
drive.
Doesn't have any piloting skill.
I don't have any piloting skill either. We're gonna have to drive out of here or take the train.
Yeah, where's Devlin when you need him?
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll drive us back.
In your shape? Well, shit, Blackwood's pretty fucked up too, isn't he?
Say train.
Well, I guess if we're too messed up, then we'll get train tickets.
Yeah, it would just seem more kind of likely that you guys would be wanting to take the train rather than the long drive with your injuries. I mean, Blackwood. I don't know. Let's see. Look what I got here. Let's see. Just for fun.
Abdomen.
Yeah. Blackwood's got internal injuries. He also has a major wound, so he should be in a hospital, as a matter of fact.
Well, if they hadn't killed the doctor.
Yeah. He's been poisoned, and he jumped out of a window, and I think he was also shot. Just a great grazing shot at the Woody house.
Well, can we telegraph from the train station?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll telegraph Devlin and say, we're coming by train. Bring a doctor.
Okay. So we can
exclamation point.
I think we can kind of fast forward here a little bit. So I'm going to get some coffee. So let's think about, like, where do we go from here? Do we go to Malta? Do we go to California?
I mean, I don't think. Well, yeah. Let's talk about it.
You go say hi to Christopher Edwin again.
Did I see him when I was
No,
clearing
you
the
didn't.
house out?
No, you didn't. I don't know if you saw this, but some of these banners are kind of interesting. If you look at this banner for the chapter, if you zoom in on it a little bit, it's got the piles of skulls. It's got some crazy looking dude with an axe coming out of the skulls. And then over on the right, you've got Edwin sitting in his library, all hunched over in his chair. I take that back, Kyle, just to make it interesting. When you go back to get Chang's body and meet up with Blackwood's face is like white as a ghost. And he's like, you're not going to believe this. And he leads you up to Edwin's upstairs bedroom. And Edwin's wheelchair is sitting there by the window in the bedroom. And what appears to be sort of a riny husk of Christopher Edwin's body is sitting in the wheelchair. But it looks like something has crawled out of his body cavity.
Oh, man.
It looks like it's just his skin.
He's a giant worm.
Or something. Needs to make a sanity.
Wormy fuck.
Make another sanity check.
Oh.
Yeah, something was like using Christopher Edwin's skin. That's about all that's left is his skin.
Something was using him as its meat puppet.
Something.
I make my sanity roll. Woo!
Good. Blackwood loses one. All right, I'm gonna get some coffee real quick. So yeah, we just kind of need to decide where we're gonna go from here. It's gonna be October 26th, I believe. Right around now is when Grant and McBride would be arriving in Malta. And if you were to travel from Maine to Malta, it's like the Mediterranean, right? It's another 4 days, I guess, by Zeppelin. Maybe a little less than that. It's a lot quicker than ship.
Yeah. We might want to do that just because we're so damaged, man.
It's fucked up, dude.
I mean, moving forward with an air condition.
Yeah, plus taking the third piece back from Malta is not a bad idea, so you have it all in one place.
And Chang's body.
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, the whole Worm That Walks chapter was a huge clusterfuck for you guys. Essentially. Not a very good precursor to what's coming up. Oh, it's going to be Halloween on Friday.
Oh, damn.
All right, I'll be right back. Need some coffee.
Well, I think we should roll some more characters.
Not a bad idea.
We're obviously going to need them.
Not a bad idea, yeah. But yeah, man, I say go back to Malta and start ripping some resurrection spells, man. See what happens.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
And you know, taking the piece back.
Yeah, I think that's our only option. And then that way, you know, any new characters can rejoin us pretty quickly.
Yeah, and then you guys can recover properly too.
We can do what? Yeah, recover
properly. Yeah, you'll be able to rejuvenate in Malta. You have all the medical care you need. In a pretty secure location.
All right, I am back.
Get Devlin to
fire up the Zeppelin.
Fire up the Zeppelin and grab a doctor that he knows from the Theron Mark Society. And
yeah, you're probably just gonna have to see a doctor there in Boston. Just make a couple rolls here for Blackwood. Was it? Let me reload. So, Barry, you're healing back 1 per day at this point.
Okay.
Because you don't have a major wound. Blackwood, however, let's keep him alive, shall we? Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Need a hard success to get over the major wound. I should have rolled with bonus dice, though. Hold on, let me roll that again. Okay. So he will gain back 1d3 from the medicine roll, the initial medicine roll. So 2. He's going to be at 3 hit points for a while, at least another week. So during the trip, where are we going anyway? You going to Malta? Is that what we're deciding?
We're going to go to Malta, yep.
So Barry, you're going to gain back 4 hit points.
Woohoo!
When we arrive in
Malta, I'm back to shot at woodshed levels.
We're going to give Blackwood another roll upon arrival here. There we go. He's got the hard success with the 1 bonus die. So we'll get rid of his major wound and heal him 1. So he's at 4.
But now he can heal normally, right? 1 per day.
Yes. Well, Tom, I wish you were here tonight, but I did the best I could to keep him alive, and I did. I kept him alive for you. Blackwood lives.
By a thread.
By a thread. It could have been anyone.
By rolling out the window and passing out on it, having the worm beast violate him for at least a round.
I think Chang kind of pissed it off with the shotgun. I think that's what it was.
But see, I had a whole round to go rifling through, and that's when he was out on the worm beast was like mounting what he thought was his unconscious body for at least a round. 10 seconds.
So at this point, let's go ahead and mark on Father McBride's character sheet, also Logan Grant's character sheet, that they both know the ancient secret of resurrection.
Ooh.
Okay.
Time to take the bodies to the Inquisitor's Palace. It's currently unoccupied. It's a perfect place to cast the spell at night.
Mm-hmm.
Big courtyard there.
So the spell reduces a corpse to its essential salts and compounds, a bluish-gray powder, or reverses the process to yield ultimately the form and soul of the deceased. Complete corpse is necessary. The real big kind of downside to being resurrected is being resurrected in this manner costs the victim 1d20 sanity points. Other than that, there's no real downside except for sort of a pale, it's kind of like a rosacea look. You know, you've got kind of like red lesions on your skin. You don't look very healthy.
You look like you applied sunscreen in a slapdash manner.
Yeah. And as far as the caster is concerned, the most important part of the spell is making sure that the ashy powder is created correctly. Because if any part of the body is missing when you create the powder, only the liveliest awfulness from what you have is then made flesh. Of course, the successfully resurrected need not be all in one piece. As long as you can scrape together all the fragments and dust the spell succeeds.
Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Just give me 2 seconds.
So you just have to be ultra careful when you're collecting the salts. Make sure you have a complete corpse, right?
Correct. Which I think is the case for both of these guys.
Yeah, well, it should be for all three of them, right? Isn't it? It's Alessio, Corso, and Chang.
Yeah, all three of them, yeah. Of course.
Sparky. Too bad we couldn't collect Sparky's body, man.
Yeah.
It's rough.
Wow. Now you got eaten. What are you gonna do?
I know what he did.
What are you gonna do? Oh, and the caster of resurrection also takes 1d10 sanity points, so be a bit of a sanity drain, but totally worth it.
I don't know. Pretty hefty sanity right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had captured 2 bugs in the room here.
2 bugs.
Yeah, not worm beasts, but like 2 of these little. I had the window open. These little hoppy bugs are in season right now, so they're harmless, but they're annoying when you're sleeping.
Just looking at my deceased character's sanity to see which one has the best sanity.
Right. So the caster must spend 3 magic points and spend 1d10 sanity to perform the resurrection ritual. So I suppose there's probably some secret ritual room way beneath the cathedral, or something here in Malta, where you guys take the bodies down and get your, lead stoppered vials and all of the other shit that you guys need, the censers and the incense. And the blood, of course. The blood of the caster must be used to create the pentagram on the floor. So I guess the question is who's going to do it and on who?
Bring Chang back.
So at this point, Logan Grant, Father McBride, and Bear Ruslanovich are standing in the old temple altar down the catacombs beneath the church, with all of the implements spread before you that you need for the rite of salts, as it's known in the Black Book.
All right, we'll put Chang up there, and Logan Grant will try to resurrect Chang. His life was too short.
Okay. So after a while of doing the chant and burning the black candles, you can see Chang's body slowly turning into this bluish gray powder. And you begin collecting it and scraping it up and putting it into these sensors. And then you carefully spread it out on the floor among the blood of the pentagram. And I'm sorry, who's casting this now? Is it Logan?
Logan, yeah.
Okay. Logan, you've had to cut yourself to create this bloody pentagram. And you've got this paper that has the inscriptions of the spell. As you're reading the inscriptions, after you've spread the powder on the floor, you see the pentagram. You see the ominous effervescent powder laying within the blood begins to give forth a cloud of thick greenish black vapor. And it suddenly fills the entire room, this greenish vapor. It has sort of a sweet, sickly smell to it.
Alchemy, baby.
And you see this, see this bluish gray powder that's been spread among the blood begins to form and coalesce into a human body. I need Logan to make an intelligence check.
Don't make it.
Okay.
Is that good?
Roll a
I
1d.
don't understand. 1d10?
Yep. Lucky.
1.
You lose 1 sanity point.
Nice roll, Kyle. Awesome.
However, the bluish dust seems to be only partially formed. You see the vague outline of like legs and arms, and it doesn't seem to be working properly. And then the greenish black vapor in the room begins to dissipate, and the blood that you made the pentagram out of begins turning black. You have apparently failed.
That was an
You
intelligence check.
You can still scrape up all the dust and put it in one of the lead stoppers, though, right? For future.
It can be attempted again. Yes.
Yeah. So collect.
Yeah, that's of course we're going to do that.
Yeah, collect the dust and do that.
And Father McBride is there as well.
He can try on someone else. He could try Alessio.
Yeah,
he's like Mr. Grant. He says, Logan, I noticed I think the phrasing may not have been right in this particular passage here. He's like showing you, like I think this should be in verse here or something. He says, let's try this again, shall we?
All right, that sounds good.
So by the rules, Kyle, when you cast a spell for the first time, I'm supposed to make you make a hard intelligence check. This is the rigid, hard, and fast. I think for this particular spell, it's important to do. Okay, so you failed the hard intelligence check. That means you have to relearn the spell. So let's see if McBride can do it. So again, he begins the incantation, lights the censers, cuts his hand, drips the blood, makes it into the shape of a pentagram. Tears streaming down the father's eyes as he's doing it. He's like, "Forgive me, Lord." He's thinking to himself, "Bring us back, Chang."
Yes.
Well,
I mean, he witnessed. But
technically, you could modify this roll with your luck.
Oh.
And you only failed by 14, Kyle. So
I would totally use my luck.
Totally. Spend 14 luck points, dude. Father McBride only has 19 luck. So
well, actually, Logan Grant only has 18.
Okay, well, spend it.
All right, well, he's down to 4.
Okay, so rewind a second here. All right, there wasn't a misinterpretation, mispronunciation of anything.
We time travel back.
Yeah. Chang's body begins forming in this bluish gray powder, and you can see this color of flesh becomes apparent throughout the vaporous fog and greenish black smoke in the room. And you see the body of Chang emerges from the ashen smoke. He appears to be whole, although quite pale and reddish. Chang opens his eyes. Roll 1d20, Lee.
Roll low, baby. Think low thoughts.
Oh,
Yikes.
God.
How come you didn't think low thoughts?
Oh, I was thinking low thoughts, man.
Chang. You open your eyes and you find yourself in a dark room. You look around, you're lying on a barren stone floor with what appears to be blood in the shape of a pentagram, and you see these dark figures standing over you. And you look down at your body and you suddenly remember the thing in the room, and the pain and the blood and the gore and the horror. And you take 19 sanity points. That's a lot.
Yeah. He's got 65.
Actually, roll a d10, please.
I mean, the first thing we're gonna have to do with resurrected Chang is restrain his ass.
Yeah.
Roll 9. Okay. So this is going to make Chang indefinitely insane with some kind of phobia. But you wake up, and Kyle, Bear, you're kind of standing there looking on as Logan and McBride are doing this thing. And Chang kind of begins screaming. He's like looking at his hands like, ah!
Sure,
So
someone has some morphine.
Yeah, McBride gets down there and begins consoling him. And, Logan gets out a syringe. He's getting some morphine ready. Give me a percentile roll, just a straight up raw percentile there. Let's see if we can come up with something interesting and make you have a little bout of madness here. All right. Suddenly you have this overwhelming fear of the clinging darkness down here. You imagine beings composed of earthworms crawling out of the darkened walls of this place. And you begin trying to get away from these guys to run up there's these stairs that lead up. You're running to the stairway. Look, you need to get into the sunlight.
That's what I say. I need to get into the sunlight.
Yeah, sunlight!
Yeah.
Well, Bear will help him get up to the sunlight. Shepherd him out there. It's good to have you back.
Yeah. Once you get out into the sun, you begin calming down a bit, although it is a little harsh on your eyes. And you guys
cover him up with a jacket or something. I'm assuming he's naked, right?
Yeah, he looks essentially the same, old Chang does, but he has sort of this crazy kind of look in his eyes now. His eyes are kind of darty, and his skin color has changed slightly. It's very pale and has this reddish tinge to it, and he's got sort of these red sores on parts of his body. Otherwise, he seems to be okay. Although leave for some time, you're going to be suffering from scotophobia, which is fear of darkness or of the night. I'm going to say fear of darkness and of the night. Okay? Which could be somewhat burdensome on you.
Yeah, well, I think he may be staying somewhere well lit in Malta guarding books.
Yes.
Or something like that,
Yeah, maybe have some kind of nighttime ritual to keep the night out.
Oh yeah, well, there's lots of candles and
Candles don't cut it. It's got to be
fire.
Electric light is soothing to you, I guess.
Okay.
Let's say.
It's all right, man. Break out the bulbs.
You're right. Thomas Edison fan letters.
Yeah, I love you, Thomas. All right, so does
Chang is back.
So do you want to try to cast the spell again, Kyle? Alessio, how much did you take? 1?
I took 1 sanity, yeah, but I've got to relearn the spell. Is what?
Sean was saying. Right. Yeah.
No, that's if you had failed. You used your luck to succeed. So
that's right.
So from now on, whenever you cast Resurrection, you don't need to make that hard intelligence roll. It's just the first time you do it. Just kind of a check to make sure that you learned it right.
Or McBride could try. You could try.
Yeah,
I mean,
you could.
Why don't we let McBride have a chance at it?
Okay. Let's do that. All right, McBride. So here we go again.
We're getting down with the spells.
Chang, it's only 3 hours down. It's getting close. You're always checking your watch. You know, like you always check the newspaper to see what time the sun is setting tonight. And you've got 3 hours and 12 minutes and 29 seconds.
All right. Well, I will go prepare a room and I'll start gathering the lights, moving the lights into the room.
All right. So Father McBride has an 80 intelligence, which is pretty darn good. Let's see if he can do it. Look at that.
Ooh, nice.
He nails it. But the downside, of course, being his friend Alessio flies from the dead. Bride loses 9 sanity points. That is going to make him make an idea roll.
Yes. Yes. Failed well.
All right, so he avoids the bout of madness. With you, Lee, with Chang, it wasn't necessarily just a bout of madness. You had lost enough sanity to automatically become indefinitely insane. If you lose 1/5 of your current sanity in one shot.
Right.
That's all right. And Alessio, as his body is reforming, he's still got a cigar sticking out of his mouth. You want to roll 1d20 for Alessio?
Sure.
Ouch.
Fucking D20 is not kind to me tonight, man. Ouch.
No, it's not.
Let's see.
Let's pull Alessio out here. I'm going to pull him back up to the main list.
There's another guard from Malta. Crazy, but able to shoot.
I have his current sanity in here. I must have taken it out. I think it was 55.
That sounds right.
So 55, 16. Okay. So we're also doing another definite insanity here. Give me a D10 roll for Alessio. Alessio opens his eyes and he hears the church music coming up from above. What'd you get?
I got a 10, and then I rolled 5 percentile.
Alessio, when Alessio wakes up, he's like, he thinks to himself, oh, am I in hell? You see the blood and the pentagram and the shadowy figures in the room. Ew. All right, now roll a D100.
I did. I rolled a 5.
Oh, okay. No. Roll again. Roll another D100, please.
$77.
You find something kind of fitting. Okay. All right, so like I said, Alessio, you wake up thinking that you're in hell. And then you see Father McBride kind of step out of the shadows into the torchlight. And he's like, my friend, Alessio, you have returned. And
Holy shit.
Yeah, you also sit up, you know, and you're kind of looking at your naked body and you can see these lesions all over your body and shit. And your first thought...
I'm one of the Pale Norsemen. Holy fuck.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe you actually kind of realize that all of a sudden, and Father McBride's like, no. We have brought you back from the dead using the spells from the Black Book, he says. And Alessio, you realize what he's saying, but looking at yourself and the condition of your body, you're going to be suffering from this sort of delusional mental illness having to do with some imagined disease that you suffer from as a result of you being resurrected. So, and we can think about how that manifests itself in the game. Like maybe you're constantly looking for a cure for this disease, or we can be specific about maybe what kind of disease you think you have.
Constantly taking medicine.
Yeah.
Constantly medicating myself.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's nosomania, a delusion of suffering from an imagined disease. And I want you to roll again, too.
Percentile?
Yeah.
$16.
Okay, this will be fitting. You also have an obsession with firearms. It's hoplomania. Write these down. Which is kind of the other side of the coin. Like perhaps you have memories, on the hillside by the standing stones at Craig Dube. In your last moments, and the fucking, the satisfaction of mowing down those witches.
I demand my Thompson submachine gun. I'm like, who's got that? Who's got my baby?
Yeah, it's not just an obsession, a general obsession with the guns. It's like cleaning them, modifying them, All right, so Alessio, hoplomania. And the other one was nosomania. They lose a connection there.
Yes.
Is that better, Kyle? Oh,
it's fine for me. He's apparently trying to raise reconnecting.
And nosomania, imagined disease. Could be a mental disease too, Lee. Maybe you think you're so delusional that you think that you suffer from schizophrenia or depression.
Bipolar.
Like, I'm so depressed. Yeah. Or something, I don't know. I think of something.
I think about it, yeah.
And so now Alessio is also temporarily insane. We'll go ahead and check that box. We'll take out the deceased by witches part because he's back.
He demands his gun. Immediately takes it apart and cleans it lovingly.
Yes. See, Injuries and Scars resurrected October 1924 by Father McBride. That crazy Chang dies and is resurrected in his first session.
Yeah.
You gotta love that.
Yeah. Chang's definitely going to be a guard there in Malta. He's definitely going to be in a well-lit room somewhere with all the stuff. Because his nighttime aberration is not adventure friendly.
No.
Alessio stuff he
might be able to cope with. Yeah.
He can work around that. It'll be a pain in the ass, but he can work around it.
Yeah, and if I'm doing this correctly, I need to make you suffer delusions too, having to do with your manias or your phobias, which will come out in game as you seeing or hearing things that aren't there, or not seeing what the other, or not realizing or witnessing what the others are, and you can make reality checks and so on and so forth. So I may force those on you every now and then. Kyle's mic's not working, huh? You can't hear us at all?
Very true.
I'm going to reload.
Speak, freaky fruit.
So Kyle can hear us. We just can't hear him.
Take that headset, unplug it, shove it up your butt. What the hell, man?
Well, we can just maybe call a session a little early since Tommy's not here with us tonight. Because what we're going to want to do now, I think, being in Malta all together is firstly, we know that time is short as far as the whole Arc of Lactose situation out in California. But those who are staying behind in Malta, we can talk about maybe next session or in between sessions, what spells or books or research the others are doing in Malta. And not everybody's together. I mean, you know, we can switch out characters too. We can form our team. One group can go one way. One group can even start heading towards Easter Island or something if they wanted to. We can have a dual layered thing going on. It's always more deadly that way, but I don't know. Who am I fooling? It's deadly anyway. Anyway,
no, there's definitely safety in numbers for sure. That doesn't hurt. You know?
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. It's a good thing you didn't take Christopher Edwin's boat. That would have been really bad. Maybe I'll tell you in the future. More deadly, yes. Even more deadly. Yeah.
Well, thank goodness. No.
I mean, I pushed the boat the best I could, but it didn't bite.
Yeah, well, no one could pilot a boat. If we had a boat pilot, we probably would have been on it, you know?
Yeah.
To our demise.
So that Christopher Edwin guy was just full of shit the whole time. Bastard.
Crazy worm husk son of a bitch.
Yeah, I think if anything from this chapter, you guys should, you know, begin to realize like maybe how powerful really the Silver Twilight is. They've killed like 4 of you guys, like just in October alone. I think. Maybe even 5. And then Edgar Casey showing up with known members of the Silver Twilight. What's going on with that? I think there might be a show. There might be a showdown out in California.
Yeah, well, I agree. We should stop off and burn the house down on the way out to California.
And Edwin's mansion.
Yeah.
I almost thought that it would be cool if you guys could make that like a base of operations. Like get a bunch of military guys from Malta and fucking post them at the mansion. And you guys also didn't like fully search the mansion either, but
that's true. We could go back and
different story for a different day. But do you really want to go back there, where the worm that walks lurks? I don't know.
Maybe with cans of gasoline and flares.
Cans of gasoline. Yeah. Yeah, you're braver than I am, Lee. I mean, that thing made pretty short work of you, I must say.
Oh yeah, no, dude. In the time before we encountered, I mean, it's a dead. But you know, I'd say, in general, everything we've encountered is deadly. You know, the Migo, the crazy horse beast in the mist, the crazy tentacle Chthonian. I mean, it's all pretty deadly, which is awesome. You know. That's what makes it great, man. It wouldn't be fun if it wasn't.
So Alex, Lee rolled up a new character for this session, and he died and was resurrected in his first session.
Classic.
What?
Don't make it a theme.
Don't make it a theme, he says. Oh, it's going to be a theme, I think.
Hey, we are the Knights of the Resurrection, man. Now we have our moniker. We earned our moniker. It's no longer the potential or the.
Yeah, and Bear, you should be proud. Like the group should like totally show respect for Bear. He's the guy who like made it through. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the guy that ran out the fucking front door with the shit. You know. and got the fuck out of there after everything that had already happened to him.
Yeah, you should get some kind of Theron Marks award for that shit, man.
Theron Marks award, yeah. You guys should come up with your own awards.
We will.
The Golden Shotgun Award.
Yeah, we will. Definitely, man. We'll have our members' names engraved on some wonderful marble wall. We can put little emblems like that beside it, you know.
That's why I say Golden Shotgun Award, yeah. Get your shotgun pin. Worm kill.
Yeah.
Sir Robin Award, yes, for Bear. All right, guys.
You can even have like pins for how many times you're resurrected.
Right. Well, you can, and it's funny because now we've got guys walking around that have obviously been resurrected. For anybody who knows about the resurrection spell, you can kind of tell just by looking at somebody if they've been resurrected. This whole John Scott effect, you know. So I can imagine at some point everybody in the party is going to look like shit. A bunch of weird dudes. So yeah, hopefully Tom will be able to make it next session, and we'll do a little bookkeeping in Malta and figure out, maybe learn some more spells.
Maybe some people, anybody who survived, maybe, or at least Bear, maybe should get some sanity for pulling through that. He did bring it home.
Yep. And Bear, I think you should be getting pretty healed up too. You can make just after a short stay in Malta. William Blackwood, however, is going to have to make some rolls. He may need medical care for some time. He's badly poisoned. But Bear, you'll probably get all your hit points back before too long. Certainly before you arrive at your next destination. And so I don't know. I'll just leave some messages in Discord. Maybe we can do the book learning stuff in Discord. I'll put a link to all your books and stuff, and you guys can think about who wants to stay behind in Malta and read what books, or research information, or learn spells.
Chang, that's what Chang could do. Chang can stay behind and learn. Just push it to the limit.
Oh, and also Dr. Van Helsing will soon be able to come back into the fold as well. He knows the Blessed Blade spell. I'm not sure if Father McBride does or not. I don't think he does.
Logan does, I think, right? You know, Carl.
Oh, yeah, Father McBride does too. Yeah. Logan does. Blessed Blades, that could be useful.
Yeah, no, we need to get some more. I think we have some, I believe. I think we have an axe and a sword cane. I think that's...
Logan's already reading Nameless Cults. Logan knows some spells, dude. He's got Blessed Blade, Elder Sign, Seminary Travelers, Resurrection.
He's a wizard.
Yeah, he's getting there. And I'll update everybody's character sheets. As far as checks and everything. So until next week.
Yeah, man, cool game. That was awesome.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was just literally fucking crazy. I didn't even expect the worm thing to happen tonight, but I was expecting it to be pretty devastating if it did, but not quite that devastating.
Yeah, man, the worm beast.
Yeah.
You get a freaking flamethrower on that thing.
Yeah, it's interesting sometimes how the dice can just make, the whole fucking difference.
Sometimes they roll your side.
Chang wouldn't have died if not for that dice roll, and Bear would have died if not for that dice roll that he made.
Yeah, and the luck roll for the, for Blackwood on the roof.
Some pretty clutch shit there.
Yeah. It could have been much worse, man. We could have all three died easily.
No. All right. So back to the Zeppelin.
All right, man. we go.
Off to the Mediterranean we go. You have to watch out for the hunting horrors on the way. The tent-winged serpents, as they're called in nameless cults. The tent-winged serpents. All right. Well.
All right, gentlemen.
We will see you next time.
Yeah.
Until
next week.
I imagine next time we're going to be going out to the Mojave Desert or maybe to Easter Island. But essentially, that was kind of a little short chapter there with the Woody House and the Worm That Walks. And I'd like to say that you guys survived it, but you kind of like barely got through it and recovered. So, good job. All right, we'll see you.
Yeah, good game.
Good night.
Good night.